Right, we're looking at component 3, the examined unit, and we're going to particularly looking at promotion. Today, we're going to look part of the promotional mix, which is advertising, and you probably know exactly what this means, but we're going to put it into business terminology so you can make sense and you can answer questions in the exam. The very basics we have here. I have a dog grooming business and a potential client. So advertising, there are two words we need to learn before we can really start looking at advertising. And the dog grooming business is going to be communicating with the potential client. And the first thing that we need to look at is what the message is. What do they want to say to them? They might want to say, oh, we've got a special offer this week on shampoos and sets. They might want to say, we've just won a gold award for the best dog grooming. We might want to say we've moved premises. We might just want to put out lots of pictures of really pretty dogs, which make people feel that their dog will be pretty. The message, it could be so many different messages, but that is one word we need to learn about with advertising. The second one is the method. So we have the message, what we want to say. The method is how we're going to get it across to our customers. So we know that our dog grooming business has to communicate with the potential person. So they could put a leaflet through their door. They could do an email. They could tie a banner to an aeroplane and fly it through the sky. They could sponsor a dog show. So many different ways of getting the message across. So the two key words are message, what the communication needs to say, method, how to get it across. Business can use a variety of methods when they're advertising. You need to pick the right one for your business. So the first thing is what we generally think about advertising is moving image. We can do it at the TV, we can do it at cinema, we can do promotional DVDs, video sites. And this is the traditional advert. You have a lovely moving image. It's really good for building a brand and getting lots of strong associations with it. It's good for showing products with moving images or showing your shampoos and your befores and afters. Very emotive. Big problem is we don't actually watch TV that often. We don't, so we're missing out a lot of it. So moving image is really good for building brands, but is a difficult one. The second one we have is print. So in your leaflets, your magazines, your newspapers and your billboards. Again, you can only put a certain amount of writing and one picture on it. So it tends to be a reminder of product, not a really great advert in itself, but you can on your leaflets and your newspapers, coupons and coupons that people can use to buy the product. And it's quite good to distribute out and hand out to people. Say, for instance, if you had a festival, you could hand out leaflets on the way in. You certainly couldn't use moving image. Then if we move on, we've got ambient. Now, ambient is placing things in unusual places and ways. So you can see I've got a giant pack of McDonald's chips there. People will notice that. We've got a Lipton's tea put on a tube station, a tube train. It's clever, so people will pay notice. But what we are doing is reminding ourselves of a product that exists. Ambient will not build a brand. It will just remind us, ooh, tea, ooh, chips. It won't make us think, ooh, I've never heard of Lipton's. If we go to digital, digital is a really big area. This is our pop-up. So I've got a pop-up here about school milk, but you know whenever you go on social media that you get adverts which are associated with your profile. So if I'm on Facebook, I get old ladies adverts. If you're on Facebook, you will get younger people's adverts. On Snapchat, you'll get different things. Sometimes it's to location as well. Sometimes I will get location-based adverts coming up. So they're really precisely targeted on your social media profile or the web pages that you're going on. Digital also includes the company's websites, but I think it's slightly less important. And finally, we have audio. I've got heart here, but you know, when you listen to the radio, you get adverts on. They are repetitive. They often get in your brain. They can choose radio stations which appeal to certain types of people. And some people have the radio on. Say, for instance, if I was working in a factory, I might have the radio on all day and I would definitely hear the advertising. So you need to think about the right adverts for the right advertising method for the right people. And we're going to have a look at that in a second. So we have lots of different methods. It's up to you to be able to select the best one. That's frequently a question in the exam. The things that we'll need to consider are, first of all, the target market, the age, the gender, the lifestyle, the geography of the people you actually want to see the advert. If, for instance, you are targeting at young people, digital marketing, putting it on Snapchat might be the way forward. If you were looking at an older person, it might be better to put it in a newspaper. If it's their lifestyle, if they catch the train to London every day, advertising on the train, advertising in the newspapers they give out in the train might be really good. Always think of geography where they live, because you are advertising where they don't live, you are wasting your money. So always think about your target market. The second thing to consider is the size of enterprise, and basically what can they do, what they can afford to do. Little businesses might want to give out leaflets. They can't afford to do television advertising. They probably can't even afford to do radio. The ambient, absolutely out of their league for most of those sort of business. They always need to think about, will they sell more than the advertising is going to cost them? That is a major consideration. Finally, we need to look at how appropriate it is. So think of the message that the business wants to send. If they have a brand new product, they will need to explain its features. Having an ambient, just putting a product out there, won't describe its features. It might be much, much better to use a moving image or to use a digital one to explain its features. If you want to build a brand, put an advert, put a moving image on it, associate things with it. So target market, size of enterprise, appropriateness. Always think about money. Then you'll be able to select the best one possible.